In an ever-evolving digital landscape, for your business to thrive, you must adapt or die. Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI, the podcast helping you harness the power of AI and marketing tools to revitalize and grow your business. And now here's your host, marketing expert and author of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI, Emanuel Rose.
Welcome to this episode of Marketing in the Age of AI. Today, we're going to dig into a topic that is a necessary evil and a super dynamic part of managing business in not just in the age of AI, but just in this time. And we are going to talk today with Craig Taylor, who is a certified information systems security professional and a seasoned expert in cybersecurity, bringing over 30 years of experience. He co-founded CyberHoot, a company dedicated to enhancing cyber literacy across organizations. His extensive background includes leadership roles in such firms as JP Morgan Chase and CSC, alongside significant consultancy work where he has provided virtual chief information security officer services. Hey, Craig, I appreciate you taking some time to come on the show again. And thanks for joining me.
Hey, thank you for having me, Emanuel. I'm really excited to be here and talking about AI and some of there's just so many ways we could talk about the benefits and the risks and how we go about leveraging it in our companies. There's a lot to it, and it's an emerging market. It's an emerging field that we all have to stay on top of.
Yeah, there's no question about that. I think one of the things that I've seen is the phishing marketing has gotten much better, and I'm seeing it more frequently. So talk a little bit about how we can recognize phishing and some of those tactics, and then as the human who's receiving those emails.
So you hit on a few different things there, and I think you said AI phishing marketing. Which a lot of the emails I get are marketing delivered by AI, but they're not phishing. They're actual legitimate companies. But AI is absolutely playing a huge role in basic hacker phishing attacks. They can plug your social media, my social media profile in and generate 10 very, very interesting emails that I would want to pay attention to and click on.
Yeah.
And they're doing so to target companies and individuals more so than ever before. And the unfortunate truth is one successful attack today is far more damaging than it ever was in the past. In the past, you could restore from backup and be up and running, not pay the ransom. Now they've got triple and quadruple extortion methods to do things to companies that have one person make a mistake and click on something. You know, the first thing they'll do is they'll encrypt or delete your backups or encrypt your data. Then they'll exfiltrate your data so they can share it online and embarrass you into paying a ransom. The third thing they've done recently is if you're in a regulated industry, they threaten to report you to the regulators who will fine you. So you have a security incident on one hand, and you have a regulator, fine on the other hand. And then the fourth way, which is very shocking, is they're often in your networks long enough to get phone numbers of employees at home and mobiles, and they'll call up employees and they'll say, "I know where you live. Ask your IT team, ask your CEO to pay the ransom because I know." So they're threatening employees directly. It's crazy.
Wow.
And AI is really driving a lot of that in so many ways. It's creating the believable grammar, perfect grammar, spelling, punctuation, all of that. But they're making it more so, in the past it was send 1 million emails to 1 million recipients, hoping you get 0.001% to click.
Right.
Now it's spear phishing on an individual basis, even though they're sending out hundreds of thousands of these things. They're just sucking in social media and public information and they're crafting very believable things. And it doesn't matter if the origin language of the hacker is Chinese, Japanese, Russian, French, English, doesn't matter, because they can perfectly translate into the target, not only the target language, but even the nuances, right? If I said, oh, I'm going to target a French person, well, it's going to ask me, is it Parisian French or is it Quebecois French, right? Yes. And then it will do it specific to the local vernacular, the local language. So it's incredibly believable. Now, your first question was, how do you spot and avoid these things? And the same rules apply that have always applied. You have to look at these emails and you have to understand how phishing works. Most of the time, it's a typo-squatted domain name. It's maybe off by a single letter.
Yep.
That single letter might look the same. For example, Amazon, Microsoft, they might take the M in those domain names and register a domain that is RN Microsoft. Now, that one probably can't be done, but similar things have happened.
Yes.
Where M looks like an M, but it's really an N, an R, and an N together. They'll do things with Cyrillic letters. They'll do things with an I for an L or a 0 for an O and that sort of thing. Add an S to a domain name is a deadly, deadly method of breaching companies, because people are busy. They don't pay close enough attention to the sender. In addition to that, they get you to react without thinking by making it urgent and appealing and emotional and all these different psychological phenomenon. So if you ever get an email that's urging you to do something immediately, that's a huge red flag.
Right.
Absolutely not. You should say, I might be under attack here. Let me take a look. Now, if you're a business owner listening to this, what do you do about it? Well, this is the big problem, Emanuel. The cybersecurity industry, right or wrong, has been focused on punishing clicks with sticks for clicks, bigger and better sticks, right? I worked at a bank, and not this company, that my former company, but other banks I've heard will fire employees for failing a phishing test 3 times, right?
Wow.
First time you get written up with HR. The second time you get a formal reprimand from the corporate security officer. Third time you're out. There was a Reddit thread last week. A guy got his master's program paid for by the company, but was fired within a year of getting it. And he had to pay the company back because he was, not only did he lose his job and he was fired, he had to pay back his student loans because he hadn't stayed there long enough to get reimbursed, 100%.
Yeah, bummer.
So this is a huge problem in that it's punishment. Psychology says punishing employees and punishing bad behaviors does nothing to change the behavior.
Right.
It's an external locus of control where the people doing the punishment are in control, and you yourself have no responsibility for learning how phishing works. You just have to avoid being punished, right? So
Right.
You work around the system one way, or you just follow the system when you're under threat of punishment. But if you want people to really learn and understand, you have to use positive reinforcement. B.F. Skinner 75 years ago said, rewarded behaviors are repeated.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah. I love it. So what I'm pulling from that is that as leaders in our organizations, we need to have consistent training programs and help people learn how to interpret some of these things, like you're talking about with the fudge domain names or strange documents that come from maybe somebody we know, like the one with the DocuSign document. I've seen that hack happen like twice in the last 4 weeks, where I get it's the obvious hack now from that DocuSign, like click here to finish the contract. Like, I don't have any contracts in play with these people, so obviously this is the game that they're on right now.
Right. It's something out of the ordinary, and in some of those cases, there's no typo-squatted domain name. It's an actual legitimate business email compromise. That's sort of the special flag that gets thrown up. Is all it takes is one finance person's email to be compromised, and the hackers will scrape literally tens of thousands of addresses, email addresses, and send instant, DocuSign invoices to everyone that they've ever emailed. So it's coming from someone That makes it even more devastating or dangerous.
Malicious.
the other takeaway, and I think you summarized it well, but the other takeaway is stop punishing employees for mistakes. It leads to bad morale, no behavior change, and an external locus of control. So nothing gets better. You have to use positive reinforcement, rewards, gamification, all the good things in life. I mean, just think about parenting or dog training. You can use a shock collar on a dog, not on a kid, I hope, but on a dog. And the dog doesn't like it. You're not having fun, and they don't want to go back. But if you change that to treat-based approach, food, right? That's all positive experiences for the dog. I get treats when I do this. Oh, great. Let me learn and pay attention and internalize. When I hear come, I go over to my owner. When I hear sit, I park my butt on the ground and I get food. Okay, I'm going to do that every time. It works because it's an internal thought process within the dog and within employees. When you reward good behaviors, when you publicly call out people doing their assignments and learning how to fish, that's when you get behavior change that works in the long run.
Yeah, so we've got to invest in the training and have it be a consistent part of team interactions in order to build a culture of aware team members, is what I'm hearing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love it. Well, what are some of the are there tools, I guess, that we can integrate in to help us as small business owners or solopreneurs to be able to filter out some of this malicious garbage?
Well, I think there's two answers to that. First is, this is a podcast about AI, marketing in the age of AI. So let's talk about AI in a tool that can help you. I mean, my company has built CyberHoot using AI in so many ways. Our videos are AI driven. Our support has an AI chatbot. Our outbound marketing has used AI in the past to create compelling emails and campaigns and measure ABC comparisons. We've used AI a little tiny bit on development, but really not. It's more of an information, like, how do I solve this problem? And it'll give us 3 ideas, and then we develop it that way.
Yeah.
So we're using AI in everything that we do. It's a force multiplier, right? Sachs on that other podcast said there's going to be $1 billion company before the end of this year with 1 employee using AI, right? That's the kind of force multiplication you can get from it. So we all have to learn it. But from a tooling perspective, if you're an individual listening to this, we give it away free at CyberHoot to individuals. Just go cyberhoot.com/individuals. But otherwise, there's multiple companies now. I think a year ago, 2 years ago, there was nobody doing positive reinforcement like we are. Today, there's probably 3 or 4. Just go to AI and say, give me a positive reinforcement training platform to teach my employees how phishing works. You might see our name in there. You'll probably see a couple others.
I love it. You're the unusual IT guy that is the neuropsychologist as well as the security guy.
Yeah, well, 30 years ago, I got a degree in psychology, and I trained a rat. I literally trained a rat to push a button 5 times to get a pellet of food. And then we changed it to an intermittent reward schedule, like a slot machine. The most powerful reinforcer of behavior in the human world is a slot machine. You pull that, pull that, pull that, and eventually you're going to get your reward, your little serotonin fix. But yeah, so my background is psychology, but then I did 30 years of cybersecurity and CISSP and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the slot machine is to me the one that is amazing, that how powerful dopamine is, more powerful than cash, because we know that they train those things to only return 90% of your money.
Right. Yeah, people will forgo food and sleep, and they keep pulling. You can go to any casino in the world and see these zombies there pulling the half asleep, It's tragic, really, because there's such an addictive mechanism there.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Well, what's on the roadmap for you guys for the coming year at CyberHoot?
Oh, interesting. Okay. So we've been expanding our gamification to make it more, I want to say addictive, but that's not the idea. We're trying to make it more engaging, more fun for end users to do this really boring, dull thing called cybersecurity training. Our most recent addition was a leaderboard. And, there's an interesting side effect. There's lots and lots of psychology in all of these tools we build at CyberHoot. The leaderboard had this really interesting side benefit. For years and years, we've struggled to train the leadership of companies that adopt CyberHoot because they're so busy and they ignore email where we deliver their training to. So, and often they even have their secretaries, just escalating the emails they need to pay attention to. So they never do their training and they're always really low. Well, we added leaderboards, and occasionally a leader in a company will go to their own rank in the company. Now it's anonymous. They don't see, they know that the rest of the company doesn't see this, but they're like dead last. And they're like, oh my gosh. So what it has this really interesting side effect that leaders in companies that see themselves at dead last on the leaderboard, they start doing their training because they can't be last. They're just too competitive. They're too driven to ever be last. So it had this wonderful side effect of getting leadership to do training, believe it or not. So
and that's a part of the company that needs it probably the most, right? In some ways. Yeah.
Yep. So what's happening in the new year? Well, deepfakes are becoming more and more common. If you haven't set a safe word with your financial team at your business and you're listening to this, get a financial transaction safe word in place and adopt always a direct phone call between the two parties that are setting up a payment of any kind. And I mean a direct phone call to the known good phone number, because we have the ability now for me to record your voice, Emanuel, and to call your CFO up at your company and say, hey, this is Emanuel, and I sound like you. And I want you to transfer 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000 for this payment. And, if I've breached your email, then I know exactly what to ask for and exactly who to be paid. And I can give new payment wiring instructions, and companies are losing millions of dollars in this attack. So we've got a video in our training platform on deepfakes using AI and what to do about it. Now, you might listen to this today and say, oh, well, that just applies to my work. But families are getting deepfakes where grandma gets a phone call from their grandson saying, I've been in a car accident. I'm in jail. I need you to send $5,000 here so I can post bail. Right. Here's my Venmo. Okay. And grandma is like, how do I do Venmo? I'll walk you through it, grandma. And it sounds like her grandson or her granddaughter or whatever. So families are being taken as well. Lesser sums, but still there. So you need a family safe word, right? Because as soon as you ask the hacker, well, what's our family safe word? Right. The hacker goes click, hangs up, and gone. Yeah, right. Right. You don't need to bring Jason Statham in to blow things up.
Yeah. Although those guys, I'd like to. I like that, the family safe word as well as for the business safe word. That makes a lot of sense. Well, I love the work that you're doing. It's critical work. And what size companies do you guys usually work with?
Well, all size companies, quite frankly. We're about to get our SOC 2 Type 2 so we can do a lot more business with enterprises in the near future. Nice. We have a patent pending on our positive reinforcement phishing simulation because there's about a dozen problems in the industry, not just with punishment theory, but also the inadequacy, which has shown up in so many studies that say, hey, fake email phish testing doesn't work. In fact, some people click more, not less, after going through those exercises.
Oh, geez.
We have cybersecurity researchers at a couple of universities with an empirical research study begun to prove that the Hootfish approach, which is walking someone through an email and pointing out the specific things to look for at that time and place, so you're not tricking them, you're getting a compliance score on every employee, you're teaching them a rubric in the moment so they learn exactly what to look for on these 6 or 7 pieces. And you're basically rewarding them for those good behaviors, which creates lasting behavior change. Well, the universities are measuring that now to prove empirically that it works, because we've got lots of studies showing the old way of doing it doesn't work. So any enterprise, any mid-market, any small business needs this. Because if you believe the Verizon data breach reports and some of the Mandiant reports and others, phishing is still one of the number one ways companies are hacked. The smaller you are, the more likely you are to fail to a phishing attack.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's pretty much gospel right now.
So just let me understand a little bit about how your training program works, then I'll let you go on with the rest of
Sure.
the day, but I appreciate it. So somebody signs up, they get their team, their executive team involved and run through it. Is it like a monthly thing and they got to do it every month for
Yeah.
the rest of their lives, or
Yeah, pretty much
what's it
so.
look
It's
like?
like physical fitness, right? Emmanuel, if you go to the gym, it's January, what, 5th today. If you
Sure.
go to the gym and you say, okay, today's the day I'm going to get in shape, and I go for a 4-hour workout because I'm making a difference in my life.
4 hour, yeah.
The best thing that could happen to me is I wake up tomorrow and I can't move from sore muscles. And I'll never go back to the gym because I never want to
Exactly.
feel that
Yeah,
way
you
again.
overdid it. Yeah.
You overdid it. So trying to do training once a year is just ridiculous in that same vein. You need to
Yes.
do micro trainings, high intensity interval training on cybersecurity topics. And we send out one video and one hootfish a month, tops 5 to 10 minutes of effort.
Okay.
And that's enough to change the culture, to reward the employees that are doing the right thing, the good behaviors, and to build a cybersecurity culture and a resiliency in your business. It's amazing how good it is. And anecdotally, this is why we got the researchers studying it, because anecdotally, MSP after MSP after IT team says, hey, the number of emails coming into our support organization have dropped off the face of the earth asking, is this a fish? Is that a
Oh,
fish?
right.
They're
Right.
so, employees are always afraid of making mistakes. So they
Sure.
forward things to IT because they've never been properly taught. Well,
Interesting.
that's been replaced when they adopt CyberHoot with, hey, look at this fish. It's pretty good. Look at the typo-squatted domain name or the fudged domain name, right? And so employees are now reporting legitimate ones, deleting them, and not falling victim anymore. But that's all anecdotal. MSPs have seen companies become higher retention, happier relationships, more value in their conversations with their clients from the positivity of Hootfish and CyberHoot.
Yeah.
And it translates to lower costs, lower support costs. Gosh, we even do product training. So when you think it's time to roll out a password manager to our team,
Mm-hmm.
we can train on every password manager out there with the videos from the vendor themselves delivered in one email. Here's your 12 videos to learn one password or Bitwarden or Keeper,
Yeah.
Dashlane, RoboForm, you name it. We've got them all.
I love it. Well, and I love that you're working hand in hand with the MSPs, so that you're a positive addition for them and not competing with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. All right, buddy. I appreciate you coming back on again, and I'd love to talk to you again at the last half of this year if you're willing to spend another 30 minutes with me.
100%. I'd love that. And we barely scratched the surface on like AI risks that everyone faces. So I won't list out the top 5 risks for 2026, but we did talk about deepfakes, but
Yeah.
data leakage, shadow AI, prompt injection, hallucinations, governance gaps. There's lots of other things we could talk about.
Yeah, there's like every situation, there's threats, opportunities, and obligations you have with this
Yes.
technology of AI.
Well
And
said.
I appreciate that you're helping people learn about the threats and become educated and have some high self-efficacy around it. So it's a very empowering process that you guys are contributing to. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thanks, Emmanuel. You get it. You
Well,
understand.
Craig, we'll make sure all your contact information's in the show notes, and people will be able to track you down at cyberhoot.com. And I have a referral for you, so hang on for me after the show, and we'll chat. All right.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks again. Have a great week.
My pleasure. Bye, Emmanuel.
Bye bye. It's good stuff. Take a look at cyberhoot.com. If you're an individual, you get to participate in no cost, which is a really high value. And I encourage you to get your team at least to review it, your IT team to review it, and see how you might be able to educate yourself and your people around the various threats that exist, which are part of the reality of life. I hope you found some value from my conversation with Craig today, and I hope that you take some time to uh, learn about better prompt writing or building an agent for some outreach, or going to CyberHoot and protecting yourself. And that's you find some ways that AI can help you win some time back in your work week. And with that time, you continue to upskill, that you spend it with your friends and family, or that you get outside into nature and away from the screens. This is Emanuel Rose, Marketing in the Age of AI.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.